On your way, Outlander. Only ship's crew allowed on my docks.
I need passage to Istan.
Everybody needs something. Hold on. I know that face. Palawa Joko's put a price on your head, friend.
That's so. Last I saw Joko, he wasn't in a position to make threats.
Either way, I don't take his coin. This rig's headed for Istan. I can stow you aboard if you'd like. Ain't exactly the royal stateroom, but it'll get you there. If you can keep your high-priced head out of sight.
This must be the Astrolarium. Now, to find the head archivist.
We have to get their propaganda out of the historical records.
Do you have a death wish? They'll burn your corrected versions when they find out, and then they'll burn us.
Why did we just pass along whatever they said without question?
Welcome to the Astrolarium, the supreme repository of knowledge in Istan. What is it you seek? Wait you're the Tyrian hero, the God Killer, the Dragon Slayer, Canoc's crony.
You know Canoc?
Shh! There's a bounty on your head. Are you trying to get
Everything
turned
all
in?
right over there?
Praise be to beneficent Joko, who patronizes our intellectual pursuits.
I need to find the Sunspear base.
Lower your voice. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't believe you. Why so nervous?
There are those here who, from fear or greed, rewrite our histories to glorify King Joko, whereas others risk their lives to preserve the truth.
I admire your courage. I want to help, but I need to get in touch with the Sunspears.
To protect our most sacred tomes, Archivist Salwa has locked them in the restricted archive. That's also where you'll find the secret entrance to the Sunspears base. But you can't just waltz in. Salwa is militant. She won't admit anyone until she's convinced they oppose Joko.
So I'll convince her. I'm no fan of Joko, and I don't think he's too thrilled with me either.
Words alone will never sway her. Joko's minions have been here for weeks revising the histories to lionize that fiend. If you can put a stop to it, I suspect Salwa will be more than happy to let you in.
For generations. Cormier, forgive us.
Impressive. I think you've done more than enough to prove you're truly anti-Joko. You shouldn't have any problem getting Salwa to let you into the restricted archive. Tell her I've sent you to retrieve a book called Nightfall. The book will reveal the entrance to the Sunspear base.
Archivist Rada sent me to fetch a book for her. The title is Nightfall. She said you'd know it.
Every page, by heart. Rada has an eye for history. And apprentices too, it seems. Enter, and do not fail her.
Nightfall. Nightfall. That's dramatic.
Ahai, hero of Amnoon. I am First Spear Hakima of the Istani Sunspears.
You know who I am?
Every Sunspear knows who you are. And I believe we have some common interests. Joko's hold on Istan has weakened in his absence. Some of us here even dare to dream of a new era.
I left Joko rotting in a cage in the domain of the lost. Should definitely make for smoother sailing.
You would think. But the number of awakened grows. They're retaking towns we freed, including Champion's Dawn. And someone claiming to be Joko is offering rewards for the heads of his enemies. Especially yours.
So I hear. I'll tread carefully. To that end, I'm here to ask you if you can get me into Fahranur.
Oh. I'm afraid not. Only our leader knows the way. Spear Marshal Zaim guards that secret with his life. He rode south to retake Champion's Dawn from the Awakened. The priest there, Sazir, usually knows where he is.
Then that's where I'm headed. You can never have too much treasure.
The Sunspears are an ancient order. Honorable protectors from brighter years in Alona's history. Most of my brothers and sisters were awakened and forced to serve Joko. You know them now as the Mordant Crescent. A few survived, in hiding. Recruiting to sustain the order across the generations in hopes they might one day rise against Joko. Zaim has become the Spear Marshal of these Sunspears. We serve his vision of an Istan free from Joko's grasp. Zaim was trained by a Sunspear named Ketur, until word of Istan's plight reached his ears. When Balthazar attacked the mainland, things got worse in Istan. Much worse. Istan was Zaim's home, and despite his mentor's protests, he could not sit by while it burned. Zaim vowed to bring the Sunspears out of the shadows, to once again make them a shield for the innocent and the scourge of the corrupt. I was the first he recruited, but many would follow. Eventually, we convinced him to take the title of Spear Marshal. Balthazar's campaign on the mainland caused ripples throughout the kingdom. Crops burned, trade lines disrupted, shipments to Istan that never got past Palawadan. Joko's loyalists are comprised mainly of the island's nobility, and only they are allowed to live within Palawadan, its port city. They control what comes in and what goes out. They decided food would not go out. When people objected, the Temple of Joko said those outside Palawadan's walls were disloyal and didn't deserve food. It started out as a way for the nobility to feel virtuous watching half the island starve. But it escalated. Quickly. Isner Isles had enough, and declared their independence from the rest of Istan. By then, the temple congregation had armed themselves. The loyalists went down there, intending to make an example of the disloyal. Zaim was prepared, though. He taught us a great deal about guerrilla tactics. The Sunspears crushed the loyalists, sent them running all the way to the northern shore. The awakened garrison was manned by a skeleton crew, no pun intended, thanks to your liberation of the mainland forces. Nonetheless, the Mordant Crescent sent 50 Awakened to find this famous Sunspear champion and end the rebellion. We don't know how he did it, but two facts are undisputed. Those Awakened lie dead, and Zaim lives. The people started calling him the hero of Istan. It galvanized the whole island behind him. The Mordant Crescent and their loyalists imposed martial law, even within Palawadan itself. They started conscripting the living and awakening the dead. If you won't serve in life, you can always serve in death. Anyone suspected of aiding the Sunspears gets rounded up for re-education. With their supply lines broken, their families imprisoned, recruits getting harder and harder to find. Well, as you can imagine, things started falling apart. The Mordant Crescent would rather watch Istan burn than tolerate any commoner who shows some spine. And Zaim and his Sunspear recruits? Well, we have spines of iron.
I'm looking for Priest Sazir. I heard he may have seen what happened.
Awakened overran us. Took our food. Damn near destroyed the place. What does it look like?
Not you, Father. Me. He forgets he's now an elder priest, retired. This isn't a good time. We've been through a lot.
I was told Spear Marshal Zaim had ridden here to help. Have you seen him?
The Spear Marshal, yes, he did come to our defense. I thought he might be able to turn back the
Then
Awakened.
Zaida the Sly and her corsairs ambushed him. Carted him off to sell to the highest bidder.
I can't exactly just walk onto her ship and ask her to give him back. I need some leverage.
Might be a way. Old Corsair family like the Slies. Only one thing means more than gold. Honor.
No, Father, I know this story. It would be suicide to even try.
Centuries ago, story goes, a Sunspear champion found a coin. Belonged to a Corsair. Name of Margaret the Sly. Sly family wanted it back. Swore they'd grant any favor to whoever returned it. No one ever has.
How can I get this coin?
You can't. Hundreds of Corsairs have entered the cave of the Sunspear champion, hoping to best him, win the coin, and get a favor from the Slies. All have died. Like I said, suicide.
I've died before. It's overrated. Now where do I find this cave?
It's on the south shore. You need only follow the trail of dead, but I wish you'd reconsider.
Boy, who do you think you're talking to? If anyone can win that coin, it's this one. Might even help our town along the way. I can see it in your eyes, Commander. Cormyr be with you. Not much to tell, really. He's been there since before my father's father was born. Kind of tradition for the kids of the village to sneak out there to the cave and watch him knock down challengers. He's not like the other Awakened I've met. He was always kind to us kids. Put on a real show. Mind you, this is gossip from 200 years ago. But I heard when he was awakened, he put up a real fight. Joko and his stooges had to say every order just so, or he'd find a way around it. Most people just give up, accept it. Easy to give in, be a mindless slave. But a few keep a bit more personality. The Archon at the time, he didn't like this one's personality. So the Archon ordered him to guard that cave. Forever. Since that's the only order he was given, it's the only one he's bound to. Seems content to brawl the years away. What's to say? A Corsair made a bet, lost an heirloom, and died before she could get it back. It's become kind of a family IOU. Passed to her kid and her kid's kid, until it landed in Saida's hands. The Sly crew is pretty, traditional. They take the old code of honor very seriously. If anything can save you from the business end of their sabers, it's that coin. Trust me.
Trail of dead, indeed. You can never have too much treasure.
Another deluded fool come to court death in the name of avarice. Costs will oblige you too.
I have no wish to fight you, but I need your coin. Not for myself, to save a Sunspear. The Spear Marshal.
Sunspear? What are you trying to pull? The Sunspears died out years ago.
No, they live. And they're fighting right now to save Istan. But they need their Spear Marshal.
And from what does he need saving, this Spear Marshal?
The current Sly Captain, Saida. She plans to sell him to Joko's minions. I need him to help me win a war.
Joko? I died valiantly, a worthy end only to be raised from the dead by that infernal sop, turned into this. Compelled to obey his every order, I banished myself here to evade them. Can't obey what you can't hear.
Ingenious. Then it should please you to give me the coin so I can defeat his armies.
I like you, but I don't know you. Koss was no patsy in life, and he will not be in death. Honor demands you will fight, and probably die, like all the rest. But best me, and the coin is yours. Koss! Protect me!
That feels good.
I'm Koss!
Kill them all! Back is fighting condition.
Protect me! Koss! I will break you! I'll be cursed. Again. The great and mighty Koss bested in combat. Who the hell are you?
Someone who's in a hurry.
Well, the coin is yours. I'll no longer be entertained by foolish corsairs seeking glory and favors. This life beyond the grave will become even duller than before. Hard to imagine.
We hope to bring down the Morden's Crescent. And with Joko in the domain of the lost, things can change.
His whispers travel far, even on others' lips. I dare not leave, lest I become his weapon once more. But you do me this favor. You hurt him hard, so not one more soul can be condemned to this. Now go!
That looks valuable.
The Sunspears of my time thought it best not to engage Joko directly. I knew he was too much of a threat to ignore. We were the ones who released him. It was up to us to end his menace. I took a few volunteers to do just that. We failed. I failed.
Give you an update. The branded here and Amnoon seem to have moved on. Casimir says Kralkatorok is still sitting in the mountains. Sounds like you've got things under control back there. I could use everyone's help here with the Sunspears. We can head that way, but I think Timey's having too much fun feeding rocks to her golem.
Scruffy is running them through his petrology spectrograph.
Rock tests, I got it. Check in when you get here.